And staying clean off them hard drugs is a hard thing to do, But I'm gonna tell you how to do it. First of all, you know how like when your cell phone might got a glitch or something, and then it might come back on, or your car window, the power, it might go up, down, be working, and then all of a sudden you hit the thing and it ain't working. So I'm saying that to say you didn't acknowledge there's something wrong with your window. You know what I mean? And that's this thing with drugs. You know what I mean? The first step is to acknowledge that you got a problem, which most people won't do. And then you got to really find out in the first place why you start doing them anyway. Now, it could have been as a child, you seeing your family partying and drinking and smoking a joint or whatever the case may be, So that is your first introduction to drugs and you don't even really know it. So, once you get a little older and you start, hanging out, teenager or whatever the case may be, getting around your friends, meeting different people, and they might just be drinking a couple beers just to be drinking a couple beers after running ball, or a couple of your friends smoking a couple joints that you don't even really hang around. But you got to acknowledge why you really start doing it, so when you do start doing it and you notice that you might be doing it, every day way more than others who can do it casually. You know what I'm saying? You got people who do a lot of different things casually. Some people love cheeseburgers, but they know they only can have one once a month, because if they eat them every day or 3 times a week, they're gonna gain weight. So you got to start there. But the biggest problem for a lot of people, no matter what it is, they don't want to admit something actually got them in a chokehold, So when they get involved in drugs, especially hard drugs, they will go on for years. Some people never get clean, because really the truth is only 1% in the world, get clean and stay clean. And I'm living proof of that. But I also is living it one day at a time. So, you got to identify that you got a problem. And that's with anything, you know what I mean? And people don't want to do that. And once you identify you got a problem and you is powerless, and then you can start, building, a foundation on getting yourself clean and staying clean. So what I recommend is you go in the treatment center, don't listen to your crew, but also do what works for you. If you got going to treatment center, if you can leave it alone, without seeking assistance, that's just the first step. That don't mean you don't need assistance. You know what I mean? So you go in a program, you stay for how long you got to stay, and you work the 12 steps, and and it's been said a million times, people, places, and things, There's one thing I do know: if you keep hanging around the barbershop, you're gonna get a haircut, So, and that just means you go right back to the people who was doing, what y'all was doing. Then they gonna bring you in before you get them sober, So you just take it one day at a time. It sounds cliche, but just follow me, subscribe to my page. I got more videos on this topic, but I'm just letting you know that, I got 17 years clean, and how I started, is basically like the gateway, marijuana, but I'm gonna just fast forward you to 09. I took my last, $1,200. It was either that, I went to this rehab and bought me 10 days because that's all I could get. I ain't had no insurance, but I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, So I done turned that 10 days into 17 years, So if I could do it, I know you could do it. I got more videos to come, on this matter. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to my page, because I'm ready to start therapy sessions and I'm giving out my phone number and all that, because this thing is serious, you know what I'm saying? And with the fentanyl that within the last 5 or 10 years, whenever it really officially hit the scene, it's taking us out. Follow me, serious1@yahoo.com. You know what I mean? Subscribe to my page, and I got more videos coming on this topic. Peace.